For years, it was an open secret. My closest friends knew. My family knew. Even the barista at my favorite Caf Ladro on Capitol Hill seemed to know, judging by the sympathetic smile he'd give me when I'd order Nalin's usual lat, even if she wasn't there. Everyone knew I was head over heels in love with Nalin. Everyone, that is, except for Nalin herself. Nalin was my anchor, my confidant, my entire world, beautifully contained in one smart, endlessly kind, and infectiously joyful human being. We met during freshman orientation at the University of Washington. She was everything I wasn't: spontaneous, adventurous, a social magnet with a laugh that could brighten even Seattle's cloudiest day. I was the quiet, analytical one, usually found buried in code in a corner of Kane Hall. Yet, we were inseparable. Through every grueling late-night study session at Sutsala Library, every weekend exploring the quirky shops of Pike Place Market, my feelings for her grew, silent and overwhelming. Then came graduation. While I was already interviewing for software engineering roles in Redmond, Nalin was consumed by her dream of returning to Thailand. Her family had immigrated to the US when she was young, but her heart had always yearned for Bangkok. She envisioned working with Goes, reconnecting with her heritage, building a life under a perpetually sunny sky. I distinctly remember her telling me, with that unbridled enthusiasm, "One day, you have to come visit, Ethan. I'll show you the real Thailand." It was a casual invitation, a friendly thought, but in my yearning heart, I clung to it like a sacred promise. The years after college were comfortable, successful even by conventional standards, but they were also a slow, agonizing burn of quiet desperation. Nalin thrived in Bangkok, sending me vibrant photos of her impactful go-work, the tantalizing street food from Yoart Road, the breathtaking beauty of Wat Run at dusk. And I sat behind a desk in a tech park in Bellevue, staring at lines of code, living a life that felt increasingly hollow. Every phone call, every video chat felt like a tantalizing window into a world I desperately needed to be part of, a world that truly included her. My colleague, my college buddies, even my mom in Spokane, they'd all gently nudge, "Just tell her, Ethan," or "Why don't you just go?" The true turning point arrived on a particularly cold, relentless Seattle morning. I was looking at a photo Nalin had sent her, absolutely radiant, holding a giant, spiky durian from a local market in Nonthaburi. Something just snapped inside me. I couldn't live with the gnawing "what if" any longer. I wasn't just planning a visit. I was moving. I had saved meticulously. My job was remote friendly enough to permit it. It was terrifying, undeniably insane, perhaps even financially irresponsible, but I knew, with absolute, unwavering certainty, that if I didn't try, slightly overwhelmed American tourist Nalin, true to form, was the most incredible guide, passionately showing me the Bangkok she loved. We'd navigate the teeming sidewalks of Asak, hunt for the most authentic green curries on Soi 38, and spend evenings watching the city's glittering lights from a chic rooftop bar near Ekamai. Every single moment with her was a precious gift, every shared laugh a memory I'd etch into my mind. But beneath that an unbearable tension tightened its grip. Each passing day I spent as simply her friend felt like another day I was living a profound lie. My chest would physically ache every time she'd talk animatedly about her work, or casually mention a new colleague. Knowing I was operating on dangerously borrowed time, I was, paradoxically, living my deepest dream, yet trapped in a self-made nightmare of unspoken words. One of the biggest, most unexpected hurdles wasn't just the sheer terror of the confession itself, but the immense cultural chasm. In America, especially in my circles, we're often encouraged to be direct, sometimes even brutally so, with our emotions. But Thai culture, I quickly learned, cherishes indirectness, the concept of saving face, and a far more nuanced, patient approach to sensitive emotional matters. I watched Nalin interact with her family, the profound respect in their gestures, the unspoken understandings in their quiet glances. My typical American, "I love you," raw and unfiltered, felt too blunt, too aggressive, almost an act of disrespect in this delicate cultural fabric. I was utterly terrified of misstepping, of offending her, of irrevocably shattering the precious, irreplaceable friendship I shared. I tried to drop hints, subtle signals. I'd lavish praise on her kindness, her sharp intellect, her indomitable spirit, words that far exceeded what one would say to just a friend. I'd try to hold her gaze for a second longer, to convey the depth of my unspoken feelings, but she would simply smile, a genuinely innocent, unburdened smile, and offer a polite, "Thank you, Ethan," completely oblivious. Whoa. The agonizing thought would creep in, perhaps she wasn't oblivious at all. Perhaps she knew, and this was her gentle, culturally nuanced way of rejecting me without causing either of us embarrassment. That thought was a constant, excruciating loop in my head. I'd walk through the bustling, vibrant streets near Siam Square, surrounded by thousands, yet feel utterly, profoundly alone, even with her bright presence beside me. Every single day, the suffocating weight of my secret grew heavier, threatening to crush me. The breaking point wasn't planned. It was a sudden, jarring rupture. We were at a quiet, beautiful cafe in Ari, one of those hidden gems she adored for its serene atmosphere. She was showing me photos from a recent work function, scrolling through them on her phone. Her radiant smile completely vanished, replaced by a look of utter, profound shock. She mumbled something about needing to breathe, stood abruptly, and walked out of the cafe without another word. I just sat there, my hands trembling on the cool table, the taste of ashes in my mouth, watching her disappear into the vibrant and caring Bangkok streetscape, my heart lodged in my throat. Those next few days were an unbearable hell. Every minute stretched into an eternity. I replayed every single word of my confession, every nuance of her shock, questioning relentlessly if I had irrevocably ruined everything. I gave her the space she clearly needed, sending only a brief, respectful message saying I understood if she required time, and that her friendship, above all else, meant the absolute world to me, no matter what her answer might be. I wandered through Bangkok alone, the city's vibrant energy now feeling muted, almost mocking. Without her vivacious presence beside me, I realized, with a crushing clarity, that my secret had been a profound burden, but the thought of her potential final rejection felt like a death sentence for my soul. Then, a lifeline, a simple text message. "Can we talk?" My heart leapt, a frantic bird in my chest. We met at a quiet, elegant spot by the Chowfer River, the setting sun casting long, golden shadows across the water, illuminating the ancient spires of Wat Run. The silence between us was heavy, yes, but different now, not tense with unspoken words, but pregnant with contemplation, with possibility. She looked at me, really looked at me, with an intensity I hadn't seen since my confession. "Why didn't you say anything sooner, Ethan?" she asked, her voice soft, almost a whisper. I poured out my fears, of irrevocably ruining our cherished
friendship, of misinterpreting the subtle nuances of Thai cultural communication, of simply not being enough for her vibrant, adventurous life here. I told her, with every ounce of sincerity I possessed, that I would understand if my feelings weren't reciprocated, but I had simply reached a point where I could no longer hold it in. The truth, finally, had set me free, even if it meant losing her. And then, she smiled. A genuine, radiant smile, full of a warmth I had only ever dreamed of experiencing. "Everyone knew you loved me, Ethan," she said softly, her thumb gently tracing patterns on my hand. "But you know what? Everyone also knew I loved you too. I didn't realize it was that kind of love. You were always just there. My constant. My steady presence. My safest harbor. I genuinely thought you were simply the best friend I could ever ask for, and I was so terrified of anything changing that, I didn't dare look deeper." She then shared moments she'd cherished, how she secretly admired my quiet strength, my unwavering dedication, how she'd often wondered why no one else seemed to get her the way I effortlessly did. The scattered pieces of her own feelings, hidden even from herself, began to click into place, forming a beautiful, undeniable picture. She told me how profoundly touched she was that I had truly moved across the entire world for her, that it was, unequivocally, the most romantic thing anyone had ever done for her. She then squeezed my hand again, her eyes shining. "I might be a little slow sometimes, Ethan, but I get it now. And the answer is yes. 1,000,000 times yes." In that transcendent moment, surrounded by the incredible beauty and vibrancy of Thailand, bathed in the soft glow of the setting sun, I knew with absolute certainty that I had finally found my home. Not just a country, but a person. My person. It wasn't a fairy tale devoid of challenges. Building a new life in a foreign country, navigating the rich tapestry of cultural nuances, mastering a new language, these were all significant hurdles. But every single challenge, every moment of uncertainty, was worth it. Because every single day since that pivotal conversation, I wake up next to the woman I love, in the country that has become my cherished home. The country I moved to on a silent leap of faith, for a vacation that was anything but. Because, for so long, everyone knew I loved her, except her. Now, she knows. And that, in itself, is the greatest, most beautiful adventure of all. Our adventure. Together. Forever.